High blood pressure affects so many of us, but what if you could get a handle on it without just falling back on the usual advice? Well, today we're going to dive into three really powerful, science backed natural methods that can help you take back control of your health. Let's get right into it. You've probably heard high blood pressure called the silent killer, and there's a very real reason for that. See, it often has no symptoms at all. You can't feel it, you can't see it, but every single day it stays high, it can be quietly causing damage to your heart and arteries. This hidden danger is exactly why knowing how to manage it is so crucial. Now, what's really fascinating is that while a lot of solutions take time and commitment, one of the methods we're about to cover can actually start lowering your numbers in just a few minutes. Yep, minutes. It's a technique you can use right now, wherever you are, so you're definitely going to want to see how it's done. So with that silent danger in mind, let's get to the good stuff, the actionable part. Because, understanding the problem is one thing, but knowing the powerful natural solutions, that's where the real change happens. Okay, our first method is all about rebalancing your body's internal chemistry. And this is not about taking things away or depriving yourself. It's about adding something incredibly powerful back into your diet. Let's talk about the potassium punch. I want you to think of your blood pressure like a seesaw, okay? On one side, you have sodium, salt, which we all know can raise blood pressure. But on the other side, you've got potassium, which actually helps to lower it. The problem is, for most of us, that seesaw is completely lopsided, with way too much sodium and not nearly enough potassium. So the key is to get that seesaw back in balance, and you can do this by focusing on three potassium powerhouses. Avocados are seriously one of the best sources out there. Cooked spinach is incredibly nutrient-dense, and just swapping out your regular white potatoes for sweet potatoes gives you a huge potassium boost. Adding these foods literally helps your kidneys flush out that excess sodium naturally. All right, let's move on to our second method. Remember, this is the one that can give you almost immediate relief. This technique targets a massive driver of high blood pressure that we all deal with, stress. We're calling it the iso-breathe technique. This is such a perfect way to picture what's happening in your body when you're stressed. Your nervous system sends out a signal that basically causes your blood vessels to constrict, to tighten up, just like a clenched fist. This makes your heart have to work way harder to pump blood through, which is what spikes your blood pressure. So the goal is to tell your body to unclench that fist. So how do we do that? Well, we activate something called the vagus nerve. Just think of it as the master switch for your body's calm down response. When you stimulate it, it sends signals to slow your heart rate and, this is the important part, to dilate or relax those tight blood vessels. This is the real science that makes deep breathing so incredibly effective. And this is exactly how you activate it. It's so simple. You just inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for just a second, and then, and this is the secret sauce right here, exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6 to 8, almost like you're gently blowing out a candle. That long, slow exhale is the direct signal to your vagus nerve to calm everything down. Doing this for just 5 minutes can have a major, immediate impact. And now for our third and final method, which is all about movement. But let's be clear, we're not talking about running a marathon here. When it comes to blood pressure, moderate, consistent movement is often the best tool you have. This is your target, just 30 minutes of brisk walking, most days of the week. And what's so great about this is you don't even have to do it all at once. 3 separate 10-minute walks, maybe one after each meal, they work just as well, and they can even help with your blood sugar. So how do you know if you're walking at the right intensity? Just use the talk test. You should be moving fast enough that you can feel your heart working a little, but not so hard that you're out of breath. If you can still carry on a conversation while you're walking, you are in that perfect sweet spot. So why does this work so well over time? Well, regular aerobic exercise actually makes your heart muscles stronger, and a stronger heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump the same amount of blood around your body. Less effort from your heart means less force on your arteries, and that directly leads to lower blood pressure. It's pretty amazing. So let's bring this all together now. What we've really done is build a simple but powerful toolkit. These aren't just random tips. They are 3 distinct science-backed strategies you can start using to take control of your cardiovascular health. Here they are, your 3 tools. First, you rebalance that internal seesaw by adding in those delicious potassium-rich foods. Second, you learn to consciously unclench your blood vessels with that simple, slow exhale. And third, you strengthen your heart over time with a consistent, brisk walk. The most important thing to take away from all this is simple. You are not just a victim of your genetics or your age. These simple, accessible lifestyle changes put the power to improve your health right back into your hands, starting today. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. Of these three powerful tools we've talked about, diet, breathing, and movement, which one resonates with you the most right now? Because choosing just one to focus on first is the absolute best way to begin your journey to better health.